2019 August, we reviewed our country strategy. And that review process, or the outcome of that review process, necessitated us to expand or to enter into other regions in Uganda. And one of the regions that we saw fit for us to get into is the Karamoja region, in line with our way or philosophy of working, of following Jesus where the need is greatest. You know that in Uganda, Karamoja region has the worst development indicators. And so Karamoja was identified as one of the areas that we need to expand our program work into.
It is against this background that Tier Fund Uganda, in partnership with Karamoja Integrated Development Program KIDEP, drafted a baseline survey to assess the needs of the community.
We are going to use the results of this baseline to measure the progress that we shall be making and the impact that our development work will do or make in the Karamoja region.
The region of Karamoja is located in northeast of Uganda, comprising of Kabong, Abeng, Kotido, Moroto, Napak, Nakaperpirit, and Amudat districts. The region is recognized as being the least socially and economically developed part of the country. According to FAO online post, majority of the population remains below the poverty line. Karamoja is largely a pastoral area suited for livestock husbandry. However, few of its households are self-sufficient in terms of food security. There is a high degree of social culture marginalization with a long-standing dependency on external aid. On the 23rd September 2020, a consulting team set off to Moroto to undertake the baseline survey and needs assessment.
My name is James Peter. I work with the KIDEP as its executive director. KIDEP in full is the Karamoja Integrated Development.
The Karamoja Integrated Development Program is a faith-based organization founded in 2007 with the purpose of mainstreaming development of Karamoja through the church.
We have been active right from 2009 with development interventions in the areas of agriculture, food security, food nutrition security, basic health and HIV/AIDS. We have also been in health center construction. We're also in PRF farming, among other smaller projects.
Upon guidance from the area leadership, a selection criteria was discussed and agreed upon that Lokilal, Nakamestai, Lotaparakwang, Nadiket, and Namatwai were the most suited for the baseline survey.
Engage with local government because local government has a development plan, and as organizations come, they direct them where the need is required most. So they identified for us Nakunget sub-county, which has vulnerable communities, which are much in need of such interventions, which are responsive to development partners, and for which we can get comparative advantage and also results.
By the end of the preliminary meeting, a team of 6 research assistants were mobilized and trained on how to use the research tools before going to the field.
We would like to know the situation the way it is, socially, politically, economically, and culturally. What is the situation? They were here to train research assistants who are going to undertake the baseline survey at household level in the 5 selected manyatas.
I know your faces. I've always trusted your work because I would have called you. Because when you fill in the questionnaire, put your name so that if you make a mistake, we shall be able to trace you and say, no, here, could you give us the correct information? Because that information is very useful. I'm sure he has already shared with you that it will be used for designing a program that shall be implemented to try to improve on the social and economic livelihoods of our own people.
So with us, are the research assistants. In fact, together with the staff of KDIP, we are going to go through this tool such that we are on the same page. The purpose is that all the research assistants should be on the same page, should understand and translate this question from English to Karamoja, because the questions are going to be asked in Karamoja, and that is why we are here, and to make sure that we exclude any ambiguities when we are in the field.
As the sun rose the following day, the team made its first field data collection in Lokilar village, Nadungate sub-county, Moroto district.
The purpose of our visit is that the donor says they want to work with you, but they want to hear from you what is it that you can do yourself and what are your needs.
Bana ilo jo kata ilo de ganga kintina ikechi. Le chamta kitia ka yele. Echa ngita na imola tamar. Aloto amalo kala la nege. Nganu ne chamta yele kitia ka ikechi.
After the focus group discussion, the research team proceeded to seek data at household level.
My name is Lokol Martina. I am 26 years old. As a woman in a home, you are also a father in a home. You are supposed to see how to feed your family. You're supposed to grow crops during the rainy season that you will use for feeding your family. First, you will grow sorghum. It is the very sorghum that you're supposed to produce single-handedly as a woman. That you will produce for food in the household and also for selling to buy other basic needs. Now Corona has blocked all the markets. Even the sorghum that you have planted, you cannot sell it anywhere. So life is very difficult. We used to go to the market to do some work there, to get some money, or sell the sorghum to buy other things like posho. We are requesting for any assistance in terms of food and seeds to plant, and also talk to our men so that they just stop lying down waiting for us to produce food. In our community here, we mainly grow maize, sunflower, and simsim. But the challenge at times is getting seeds, because the small harvest that you get is supposed to be eaten. At times, you might fail to keep seeds for the next planting season.
What emerged as the needs in this area, they mainly constituted issues around food needs. There was a lot of food security as a need. There was also a problem of poor health caused by poor sanitation and hygiene. There was also an issue of poor access to latrines. In fact, what dominates in that village is open defecation, what we refer to as OPD, and it could also be visible. We also had issues with education where children have to walk a bit long distance to go to schools, and then also for those who missed going to school, catch-up education like functional literacy was one of the issues expressed. The issues around insecurity, where there has been frequent raids, especially people from either the north or from Bokora who come to raid, and since Lokilala is at the border, they have always suffered, and so therefore insecurity was seen as one of major issues that needs to be tackled for development to take place.
Deeper in the heart of Nadungate sub-county Moroto district is an organized village rich with true culture of the Karamoja. Nakamistai village saw the research team through another day of active field data collection.
As women in this community, we are faced with a challenge of water, worst especially during dry season, where we share with the animals. There is nowhere animals will go to look for water because all the swamps will be dry. So animals come to the very borehole, one borehole for the whole community. People are many struggling for the same borehole, which is not even functioning well. At the times it stops, you have to wait up to the time again water accept. So here we are faced with a challenge of water. If there is anybody who can support us with water. We are trying to plant some crops which the sun just dried off. Now people are also suffering. There is also scabies. This is for people. It is rampant here. Everybody is busy. They call it busy. There are also diseases for animals, which are killing animals. Even raids are there. These people have taken animals from us because we don't have guns. They just come and they take animals. Of course, there is a problem of food insecurity. There is no food for people. So people are just suffering. We are requesting for any support from anybody in terms of oxygen to support us for farming next time. Also for the seeds, we do not have seeds for farming. Now the challenging bit also, hospitals are very far from here. There is no near hospital. So people rely on the local herbs. Even our children are not studying. There are no schools. If they can bring schools near to support children to do the learning, it will be okay.
This is Lotaparakwang village in Loptuk Parish, Nadunget Sub-County, a new settlement at the foothill of Mount Baroto. This is one of the villages embracing crop production. Our next research venture led us to this future food basket for Karamoja.
Is to come and just get to know from you what is it that you can do for yourselves, because we don't want to come with anything in our mind that we're going to do this for the people. No, the people themselves must share with us and tell us this is where we want. So all the people from the 4 villages come and collect water from you. It is in which village? Lopong, eh? Okay. So the students here, the children don't go to school completely. We know now they have not been going to school. What about school?
There is no school. Right now as we speak, even the children that are around here, they are not learned because they have not seen anything. They don't know what the school is. The situation here is we have insecurity. Then there is also inadequate facilities for water. There is no health center. These organizations here can introduce like learning centers. For example, like ABEC centers, learning centers, whereby they can keep these children busy. When now, like when they reach a certain level, they can transfer themselves to primary schools in town, like Tuk or maybe Kolonyo. And then the other one is to seriously listen, because now we have seen that it's only one VHT who is active here, but now with activeness there are no drugs also. If they can avail, they can help coordinate and avail drugs for these VHTs, which can still help.
From the interaction we have had with the VHT member here, this place is distant from the nearest health facility, about 7 kilometers to the nearest health facility, that is Kodonyo. And looking at the number of the people and the status of the community, it is actually one thing. There are basically around 5 main diseases which are common in this village. One is scabies, which is called the ambisi. 2 is malaria. We we have typhoid, we have cough and skin infections.
The natives here are spiritual people. They express the need for a church in their community. Unlike other villages, Nadikate livelihood highly depends on stone quarrying, vegetable and fruit growing. Located in Loktuk Parish in Nadunget sub-county, the area's farming activity is making steady progress.
People of Nadikate, I heard that you do grow crops. I want to know what crops do you grow here?
Interactions with the village LC chairman revealed that the community here experiences many challenges.
The main livelihoods of the community members in Nadikate are basically stone quarrying and some bit of vegetable growing, mainly bo, which is a greens from cowpeas, and some sukuma, which they basically plant and they sell to the community, where they get some small money to support their households. But the main challenges that the communities are facing here, they have dry spell. They plant crops, but because of unreliable rains, the crops wither, are dried by the drought. So the harvest which they get is very small, which cannot sustain even their households, and yet they have a lot of needs to fulfill in their households. The other challenge again is unemployment of the youth in their communities. Some of them are educated, but they don't have jobs which they can earn income. Even the stone quarrying that they are in, most of them have suffered because a whole wheelbarrow is only 400 shillings. So you can imagine 400 shillings for the whole wheelbarrow, and imagine the time you have spent to get that wheelbarrow. First of all, you have beaten your fingers, you are bleeding, now only 400 shillings, which these people who come and buy give them for a wheelbarrow. A whole trip of stones, which these people have broken, is just only 120,000. So 120,000, how long will you take to fill a full tipper? You can imagine those are the challenges the communities are facing. Their request from the partners or from the government is that support the communities with some planting seeds, sorghum and vegetables, because there are some people who are trying to do vegetable growing, but the challenging bit is also the seeds, and also support them with water source. If they can be supported with at least some borehole, because those who plant vegetables rely on rainwater which comes from Mount Moroto here. So when it's dry, meaning the activity of vegetables is also cut off. There is no way they can continue with the vegetable. How can you water the vegetables without water? So that is another challenging bit. So they are requesting for the support of seeds, where they can start from vegetable seeds and the staple crop seeds like maize and sorghum, so that they can start from there on their own livelihood.
In our discussion, it emerged very, very clearly that this community in Nadikate are settled and are involved in vegetable and fruit growing. They are organized in groups, and these groups are in existence. They are not just imagined, they are in existence. They have the ones that are village savings and lending associations. They also have the ones that are farming, particularly in vegetables, and then also there are those who are doing fruit. We conclude by saying that this is one area that, if at all, we like to demonstrate impact and outcomes of an intervention, we will support these communities that are already organized. They also have other other partners working there, but they as a community are very organized and looking forward to being supported, particularly also in the areas of environment, ensuring that they make it look green.
Namatwai was the last sampled village located in Lotidid, Parish Nadunget sub-county. This community heavily depends on agriculture despite being on a lowland. On our way, we visited the nearest health facility, which was a painful 6 kilometers away from the village.
My name is Faith Becky. I'm graduate in this health center called Health Center 2. I've worked in this health center for 2.5 years now. And in the health center we have 5 staffs. We have 2 nutritionists, 1 nursing officer, and then 1 enrolled nurse, and the rest are 1 nurse carrier and 1 cleaner. And then in the community, we have the most common diseases, like for example malaria. It is the most common disease in our catchment area. And then you find TB is the most common. And malnutrition is also common in the community.
The focus group discussion, moderated by the parish chief, gave us a disturbing insight on the way of life in Namatwai.
People of Namatwai village don't have a borehole, the water pool. In this village, people rely on the river water, which is a big challenge to them. We also have in Namatwai village, there is no school completely in Namatwai village. The distance where they go to school is, they go to Nawanatau Primary School, which is 14 kilometers from Namatwai, which is a big challenge to them. There is insecurity. Most of them say that during season for cultivation, people don't go to cultivate because fear of insecurity. Those are the challenges we are faced in Namatwai.